All right, welcome everybody. I'm going to call to order the Wednesday, March 19th Board of Commissioners meeting. It is 7:35 p.m. and we're going to start off as we always do with the Pledge of Allegiance. This tonight led by Commissioner Rappaport. Thank you, Commissioner Rappaport. Manager Elliott, will you please call the roll?
Yes, good evening. Commissioner Arman,
Here.
Commissioner Brockington,
Here.
Commissioner Cherico,
Here.
Commissioner Lewis,
Here.
Commissioner Norris,
Here.
Commissioner Rappaport, here, Commissioner Ziegmanfeld.
Here.
Everyone's present.
Thank you, Manager Elliott. Item number 3, Sunshine Act announcement, and I'll turn it over to our solicitor, Mr. Diazio.
Thank you. Yes, the board's met 3 times in executive session since last month's public meeting. The board met on March 5th to conduct HR director interviews and to deliberate on that position. The board also met on March 12th, 2025 to discuss a matter of safety and emergency preparedness. And then the board had a brief executive session. HR related matters with respect to the HR director position and the employee handbook. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diazio. Next on the agenda is item number 4, public comment on agenda items. This is the opportunity of the evening when anyone in the public may raise their hand to be recognized to submit public comment on an agenda item. Please note that there will be opportunities to provide public comment throughout the meeting and certainly at Citizens Forum. But if anyone so chooses, they may be recognized now and speak on any agenda item for tonight's Commissioners' legislative meeting. Anyone here in the hall? All right. Anyone on Zoom? I don't see anyone. All right. So we're going to close public comment on agenda items and move on to item number 5, which is presentation of a commendation recognizing the following Cheltenham Township first responders and township departments for assisting with the SPS Technologies fire that occurred on February 17th, 2025 and beyond. I'm going to read the commendation and identify the various township departments and first responders and agencies who participated in this devastating event. So to the following entities: Cheltenham Township Police, Fire Marshal, Emergency Management, Emergency Medical Services, and Public Works Departments, as well as the Glenside Fire Company, the Lamont Fire Company, the Elkins Park Fire Company, and Cheltenham Fire Company. This is an official commendation presented to the courageous Cheltenham Township first responders and departments who tirelessly battled a fire that occurred at SPS Technologies in Abington Township for 114 consecutive hours, beginning February 17th and ending on February 22nd, 2025. This immense fire required an extensive around-the-clock emergency response. The actions of our first responders demonstrated extraordinary courage, strength, professionalism, training, capabilities, and commitment to service. Their relentless efforts and dedication ensured the safety of communities across municipal lines and minimized the damage caused by this devastating incident. On behalf of the Cheltenham Township Board of Commissioners, you are hereby commended for your diligent and faithful performance of duty, achieved through extraordinary teamwork by your participation in the response and resolution of a critical incident. I think with that, we'll give you all a round of applause, and then we'll call you up. So first, we'll have a representative from the Cheltenham Township Police Department. Come on up, receive the commendation. Next, we'll call, and just stay tight up here because we'll take a picture. Next, we'll call up Fire Marshal Lynch. Emergency Management. Emergency Medical Services. Our Public Works Department. And our fire companies, Glenside Fire Company. The Lamont Fire Company. The Elkins Park Fire Company. And the Cheltenham Fire Company. Let's give them all a round of applause again. Thank you. We're just going to take a minute for a photograph. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Moving on to item number 6 is a presentation of a certificate honoring Edward Farrell and his canine partner Dylan upon his retirement after 26 years of dedicated service with the Cheltenham Township Police Department. We have a certificate of retirement for Patrol Officer Farrell and a certificate of retirement for canine Dylan. And I'm going to turn it, dates of service, by the way, for Officer Farrell is March 1st, 1999 to March 5th, 2025. And I'm going to turn it over to Chief Slavin for a few words about Officer Farrell and Officer Dylan.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good evening, everyone. I just want to thank everyone for recognizing Officer Ed Farrell. Ed was a dedicated member of our department, serving 26 years as a Cheltenham police officer. He was a canine handler 2 times over with 2 different partners. He was a hostage negotiation expert with the Montgomery County Eastern SWAT team. He was an EVOC instructor, very dependable, rock solid guy. Again, we've seen a couple people in the last year or so, reaching retirement. Congratulations to them. We wish them the best. We wish Ed the best. Ed was 3 times deployed. He was a member of the United States Army and the Pennsylvania Air National Guard as well. Currently serving still with the Air National Guard now, and that'll be part of his next endeavor, is continuing his career there. So thank you for recognizing Ed. I'll make sure Ed unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. I'll make sure he gets his certificate and I'll spread his appreciation after we talk as well. Just want to thank everybody for acknowledging him tonight.
Thank you, Chief. And even in his absence, I think we owe him a round of applause as well. All right. Moving on to item number 7, approval of the Board of Commissioners regular meeting minutes dated February 19th, 2025. And I will move the approval. Are there any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 8, acceptance of the executive summary financial report for the month of January 2025. Any comments or questions there? Seeing none, I'll move for acceptance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item number 9, acceptance of the accounts paid report for the month of January 2025. Comments, questions? All right, seeing none, I'll move for acceptance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item number 10, the Public Works Committee met on March 5th. Commissioner Ziegmanfeld is the chair and will tell us what happened there.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Works Committee did meet and have a number of items to deal with from the March 5th meeting. 10A, adoption of a resolution for CTDA 24-07 Ogontz Shopping Center at 8200 Ogontz Avenue, granting conditional approval and associated waivers for minor lot subdivision of an existing parcel into 2 lots without any alterations to the property. The parcel is comprised of a commercial shopping strip with 9 commercial spaces, 2 newly constructed freestanding commercial buildings with a single-use tenant in one, and 2 commercial spaces in the other. There is a revised attachment there. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board? Commissioner Cherico?
Yeah, I appreciate that the applicant did go back and make a contribution, although I think it's a nominal contribution and surely doesn't reflect the important waiver that they are requesting. $2,500 could probably lay a few blocks of sidewalk. I think that's a rather paltry contribution in light of the waiver they're requesting. And I do encourage the board if you do approve this today, that we move forward with a more strenuous request of future applicants who are asking for waivers to prevent them from having to put sidewalks in. I'll be voting against this tonight.
Thank you. Commissioner Rappaport?
Right. Well, that was where I was coming from. I don't think the 2,500, although I appreciate the gesture and the progress that we made between last week and this week, I don't think it accounts for what it would take to replace a sidewalk or to put a sidewalk or trail in at any great length. And that disturbs me. I was also planning to vote against it if that's where we end up tonight. But in addition, we're being asked for to confirm or reiterate the waiver for street trees. And I think that, again, that's an area that we shouldn't be just passing over. And again, it's not out of a sense of being punitive or being vindictive or obstructionist. We need to be responsible for the character and the infrastructure of this township. And that is the purpose of waivers, is to protect those assets to our community. And we can't just roll over and ignore them just because we'd like to do it on behalf of a developer. And I have some more about development later, but yeah, so I don't find those adequate. Thank you.
Any other comments from the commissioners? Mr. Diazio, is there an ability for the board to put additional conditions on that? For instance, to increase that contribution, which is voluntary but seems to be paltry and inadequate for the expectation that came from our last meeting?
No.
Could you be more succinct? Okay, well, I guess what
Yeah,
we should do then, Mr. President, are there any other comments? I see none, so Mr. President, we should take a vote for the adoption of this resolution CTDA 2407 for Ogontz Shopping Center.
I'll take that as a motion from Commissioner Ziegmanfeld. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay.
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 All right. The ayes have it.
Thank you. We'll move to item B. Award of a construction contract to Plymark Construction Company in the amount of $149,540 for the Meetinghouse Road storm sewer improvements, subject to a favorable evaluation of the bid documents submitted. Madam Manager, did we in fact have a favorable evaluation of those bid documents?
We did, yes.
That's a good succinct. Okay, so I will move. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board? I see none, so I will move that we approve this award to Plymark Construction in the amount of $149,540.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank you,
Aye.
Mr. President. Item C, award of a construction contract to NJS Concrete LLC in the amount of $203,972.10 for the Montgomery and Mill Intersection Improvement Project, contingent upon review by the Township Solicitor. Mr. Solicitor, have we had a review and are you satisfied?
Yes, I believe that one we're good to go with.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from members of the board? Commissioner Rappaport.
Yeah, I'm abstaining on this one, and I tried to do that when the vote was taken, but it came out as unanimous in the minutes, so I'm just correcting that.
We'll make sure that's a correction to the minutes from the last Public Works
Thank you.
Committee meeting. So I'll move that the award of that contract to NJS Concrete in the amount of $203,972.10 for the Montgomery Mill intersection improvement be authorized. Mr. President?
Thank you, Commissioner Ziegfeld. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
With
Abstain.
one
And there's
abstention.
one abstention. Item D, approval to table a services contract to Gannett Fleming in the amount of $32,000 for a 30% design services on the Robinson Park project. And for those of you who didn't attend the last Public Works meeting, there was extensive discussion to the point where there needs to be some significant revisions, both to the concept and to how the design is going to proceed. So that was authorized by the board. Are there any additional questions or comments from members of the board on that? I see none, so Mr. President, I'll move to leave that tabled. I believe we said to the April meeting. Is that correct? No? Okay.
I'm sorry. I believe it might be a little longer. but-
It's just tabled.
Okay, so it's just tabled without a specific date at this point. So I'll move that that tabling be authorized by the full board.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Ziegenfeld. Just for the record, I think for something to be tabled, we don't need to approve it at the Board of Commissioner meeting, but for the sake of completeness and the fact that it's on the agenda, I'll ask for a vote of the board. So all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item E, approval of a street segments to be included in the 2025 Cheltenham Township Paving Program that was detailed by Public Works Director Coyle, I believe. So are there any questions, comments, or any possible additions to the 2025 paving program? I see none from Mr. Coyle. Are there any comments from members of the board? So I will move that we authorize the approval of the street segments for the 2025 paving program.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Item F, approval of the following equipment purchases which were included in the 2025 capital budget. Point one, a new Ford F-150 for Public Works Director in the amount of $46,681 from New Holland Auto Group. Item two, a Parks Hustler Super 104 mower in the amount of $30,000 from Best Line Equipment. Item three, a second bucket truck for the street light department in the amount of $170,000 from Alltech Industries. Are there any questions or comments for these authorizations? Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Ziegenfeld. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So while I am going to support the vote for approval of the equipment purchases, I just want to make a point both to my colleagues on the board, but also to our staff that in light of our fiscal situation, we do need to be looking at whether certain capital purchases, whether they've been budgeted or not, are absolutely necessary, because we need to really ensure that we're stretching our dollars in the best possible way to ensure that we are being responsive to our taxpayers who have already seen a tax increase this year and who are burdened by that. So while I am supportive of this, and I asked the question at the time whether these were absolutely necessary, and I was told yes, so I trust that from our staff, but I do want staff I do hope that staff will continue to look at our dollar spend with a critical eye to make sure that we are stretching as far as we can. So
Thank you, Mr.
Chair.
President. And I do believe that we queried Mr. Slade on each of those pieces of equipment because of the size, the expense. And so we got what I think is a satisfactory response. No further questions, so I'll move for approval of those three purchases for the Ford F-150, for the Parks Hustler Super 104 mower, and the second bucket truck for streetlight department.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item G, approval of the following equipment purchases which were included in the 2025 stormwater budget. Point one, overhaul of the Beast horizontal grinder in the amount of $90,000 from Stevenson Equipment Company. And point two, a new vacuum street sweeper in the amount of $327,870 from Stewart Amos Equipment Company. And again, I think there was extensive discussion to make sure that those in fact are essential expenses in order for us to sustain both the quality of life and the control of some of the potential sources of flooding. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board? I see none. So, Mr. President, I'll move for approval of these two equipment purchases. I have to say it again, the Beast horizontal grinder and also the vacuum street sweeper.
Thank you, Commissioner Ziegenfeld. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Item H, I'm getting close. Approval of the following equipment purchases which were included in the 2025 liquid fuels budget. Point one, a Highway Bobcat T4 tow-behind compressor in the amount of $28,500 from Best Line Equipment. Point two, a Highway Case 580 OSN WT backhoe in the amount of $150,000 from Eagle Power Equipment Company. Point three, a highway number 68 bucket truck in the amount of $124,564 from Altech Industries, Inc. And again, these were capital items that were included in the liquid fuels budget. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board? I see none, so Mr. President, I'll move for the approval of these three items as well.
All those in favor of the described equipment purchases, say aye.
Aye. It's not as much fun to talk about those as the other ones. Item H, approval of the following equipment purchases, which were included in the, I'm sorry, I'm going over. It's good. Approval of repairs. This is item I, to the Parks Department, Jacobson Field Mower in the amount of $28,112 from Lawn and Golf Supply Company. Any questions or comments there? I'll move for authorization, Mr. President.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Item J, finally, adoption of a proclamation recognizing the month of April 2025 as Safe Digging Month, and there is an attachment, and I believe we're all concerned about the potential for unsafe digging. Any questions or comments from members of the board? I see none, so Mr. President, I'll move for that as well.
All in favor of adopting the proclamation, say aye.
Aye. And so with that, I'll authorize with the one addition from Commissioner Rappaport, adoption of the minutes from the March 5th Public Works session.
All those in favor of adopting the minutes with the correction from Commissioner Rappaport, say aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Ziegler-Felt. Moving on to item number 11, the Building and Zoning Committee met also on March 5th. We have no business to bring before the board this evening, so I will simply move for acceptance of the committee meeting minutes from that date. Any comments or questions on that? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to item 12, Public Safety Committee and Commissioner Brockington.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, on public safety, we met on March the 12th, and we have three items to vote on tonight. Item 12A, approve of purchases in the amount of $3,853.92 from Farrell Solutions for radio equipment and the new command and communication truck. Any questions from any commissioners? Not seeing it, Mr. President, I move for authorization.
Thank you, Commissioner Brockington. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 12B, approval of the purchase totaling $7,000 for technology upgrades to the Cheltenham Township Police Department Command Vehicle and Crime Scene Truck. Any questions, commissioners? Not seeing any, Mr. President, I move for authorization.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And the last item tonight is the adoption of a resolution to amend the fee schedules of Cheltenham Township to amend emergency medical services hourly detail rate. We had a great discussion and information given to us by Ms. Bartos. So are there any questions from commissioners? No, Mr. President, I move for authorization. Item 12C.
Adoption of the resolution.
Adoption of the resolution. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and just a comment, the attachment has incorporated some of the discussion that we had from the committee meeting, and that is appreciated from staff. So with that, I will, we already have a motion. So all in favor of adopting the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And the last item would be for us to approve the minutes from our meeting, which was held on March 12th, 2025. Mr. President?
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Brockington. Moving on to item 13, the Public Affairs Committee also met on March 12th. Commissioner Rappaport, you want to tell us what happened?
Right, we did, Mr. President, thank you. Item 1, on behalf of the committee, I move adoption of a resolution declaring the township's intention to follow the schedules and procedures for disposition of records as set forth in the Municipal Records Act of 1968 and the Municipal Records Manual approved December 16th, 2008, last revised March 28th, 2009.
Thank you, Commissioner Rappaport. Any comments or questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 We are ready to appoint the following members to the township's citizen advisory committees. And I want to say out front, these are assets in our community. I want to thank them wholeheartedly. In the case of the one resume that we saw, of course, that was clarified that that was an old address on the resume, and everything is in order. So I'm proud on behalf of the committee to move the approval of Melanie Jackson of Cheltenham to be a voting member on the Historical Commission, Christopher Edelstein of Elkins Park to be a voting member of the Economic Development Task Force, Brian Chambers of Elkins Park to be a voting member also on the EDTF, also Athena Huss of Wyncote to be a voting member on the EDTF.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Rappaport. I'll just echo the gratitude of the board for these individuals who have volunteered their time for these really important citizens committees. So there's a motion for approval. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Okay, and now I'll just recommend approval or acceptance of the meeting minutes for public affairs from this month.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner Rappaport. Moving on to item 14, the Finance Committee, which also met on March 12th. Commissioner Norris.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met on March 12th, and there are two items which need our attention tonight. The first is award of a construction contract to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, Emiganet LLC, in the amount of $144,624.41 for the Tookenny Creek Parkway tree removal and pruning project. This item was fully discussed during our Finance Committee meeting, but if there are any further comments or questions from the board, seeing none, I'll move for acceptance of this award.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item B, approval to enter into a 5-year contract with KDI Office Technology for the installation, implementation, service, and support of a voice over cloud phone system with a monthly cost of approximately $2,134.70 and a one-time installation fee of $1,171.50. Again, this item was fully discussed and is absolutely necessary and will provide lots of benefits to our staff as well as to the residents who are reaching out to our office as far as the quality of service that will be provided. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll move approval of this 5-year contract.
Thank you, Commissioner Norris. Any comments or questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. There being no further items before the Finance Committee, I'll move acceptance of its regular meeting minutes dated March 12th, 2025.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner Norris. Moving on to item 15, old business. We have no old business on the agenda, but I will open it up for any old business from the board. Commissioner Rappaport.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I had a few items I wanted to follow up, two with our fire marshal, please. The first has to do with a number of questions that were raised about the demolition going on of the 2 residences and a garage in Lamont Historical District. And I understand that some of the items in that demolition are going to be preserved for historical purposes. I wanted to follow up with you on that.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, commissioners. To answer your question, yes, some of the bricks, I've been in contact with Mrs. Workman from the Historical Commission. She had help, and they were to the site this week and collected a bunch of the bricks from the house. It's a specific type of brick. The name of the brick is escaping me right now, but Ms. Workman explained it to me. And the intention is to collect the bricks from, some of the bricks and what was explained to me by Ms. Workman was that she wants to build a statue at the William Penn area with some of these bricks. So that is what she explained to me. The look on your face tells me something different. I apologize.
I didn't realize what the use was going to be.
Yeah, she,
And did the township receive a receipt or anything?
yes, I'm working with Mrs. Workman on that. She wanted to make sure that there was some bricks there that were going to be usable. And then we'll, exchange emails as to, the amount of bricks she took from that and things like that.
Great, thank you. And the second item, and I don't know if the board is fully aware, there was an incident on February 7th where a manhole on South and I guess Paxson kind of blew up and was on fire. And I guess the fire company was called, Pico came, but I wanted to follow up because the danger there of a manhole on fire under the ground, after we know that Pico was working on gas lines not even a half block away. And we also know that there were also, this was also in close proximity to the SPS fire. I'm concerned about the danger of, and this fire, I guess, started in Elkins Park underground. So I leave it to you to follow up. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So if I may correct, the incident was Friday, March 7th, recently. You said February. Yeah, sorry. It was Friday, March 7th. The Glenside Fire Company was dispatched to the area of Pax Avenue, South Avenue, I believe, for an unknown type fire. When they got there, there was a little bit of smoke coming out of a manhole. There was, as you know, right at the end of that street is a Pico substation. There was employees from Pico working there. They immediately, came over. They worked with the fire company, and the fire company checked all the homes in the area for carbon monoxide and things like that. The incident was turned over to Pico. They had a restoration crew come out and temporary repairs were made and power was restored. This incident was cables that run through manhole systems. There was an electrical short in a cable in the Elkins Park area, and it found the weakest link at Paxson and South Avenues. Conversations I've had with Pico representatives as early as this morning. Again, temporary repairs were made to restore power to the area. They're monitoring. Pico continues to monitor this, and more extensive repairs will be made in the near future on this to put it back to where it was. But Pico has no concerns of any immediate danger to the public or anything like that.
Any idea how we can prevent this from happening again? Or prevent, these
No,
underground?
No, there's, you never know when something like this is going to happen with the age of the infrastructure for both Pico and the township and everything like that. You could go 100 years without having any problems with cabling through for the wires that Pico provide us, or you could have an incident like this that's an isolated incident, if you will. It did affect some residents in the township as far as power and things like that, but power, I believe, was quickly restored later that evening. And again, Pico continues to monitor this with no threat to public safety in our area.
And you're comfortable in terms of the proximity to the gas lines and the gas work that this kind of thing couldn't?
Yeah, the gas lines are running up and down Glenside Avenue, and the where they're running their electric lines is, a good block away or so. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with it, especially when I talk to a high representative Pico and get that answer. I'm very comfortable with that.
Thanks very much.
Scott, was the fuel source for that natural gas?
No, sir.
It wasn't.
It was a failure with the electrical wiring. And like I said, it fed through the system and it found the weakest link. So it was explained to me. And again, I'm very comfortable with the explanation that I was given by Pico. And They have no concerns for any threat to the public with this. They are going to make additional long-term repairs in the near future.
Okay, thanks very much.
And go ahead, Commissioner Rappaport.
Yeah, just one other thing on a totally different subject. I was contacted today, and I also saw independently that Abington Township just passed an ordinance, I guess we should say giving guidelines to tobacco and vaping shops, their hours of operation and things. So I thought I'd pass the link up. And apparently Lower Moreland, I guess, Upper Moreland has had, we've been trying to work on something like this. I don't know if you want the printout of this or,
I'll take a look at it. Thank you, Commissioner.
thank you.
Any other old business for tonight's Board of Commissioners meeting? All right, seeing none, we'll close old business, move on to new business. We have two agenda items under new business. The first is approval of a resolution accepting a deed of dedication from Arsons Washington Square LLD for a strip of land as noted in the attachment to the agenda. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Diazio, but I think Mr. Stucker may have a comment or two to enlighten us on this topic.
Sure. So before you is consideration to accept a deed of dedication. There's a small strip of land on this property along Washington Lane that a number of years ago was actually scheduled to be dedicated to the township, but the township had actually never accepted the dedication. And so therefore that dedication sort of lapsed. In recent years, it's a very, very hard strip of land for the property owner to maintain, but it's important for the township to have access. And so in discussing with Bo and Joe, we decided that it would actually be helpful and beneficial to the township to actually ask the property owner to move forward and deed that strip of land to the township so that we could maintain it for purposes of ease of access. And that's what's here before you this evening. Joe, I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, well, before you add why we need the piece of property, the terms of the deed dedication is, did I read it correctly? It's $1?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. Mr. Stucker, do you want to tell us why we need this?
Sure. This came up as part of the review for one of the intersection improvements at Church and Washington. So we needed to put some equipment in that area. So it was either during their research, Bowman was able to find this, asked if we wanted to pursue that or go for easements. And we figured since it was already out there that we would pursue the deed of dedication and work with the owner on that.
Yeah, excellent resolution. Any comments or questions from the board on this item? No? All right. Seeing none, I will move for approval of the resolution accepting the deed of dedication. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Moving on to item 16B, considering approval of a settlement stipulation between Cheltenham Township, Cheltenham School District, Montgomery County, and the Montgomery County Board of Assessment Appeals and the property owner at 133 Cheltenham Avenue to resolve a 2024 property owner initiated real estate tax assessment appeal. This is tax parcel 31-00-05368-00-1. And there is an attachment. I'm going to turn over to Mr. Diazio for a brief description.
Yes, this is just a routine tax assessment appeal settlement. As the board is aware, about a year or so ago, we changed our practice and are now bringing each one of these before the board for approval. So nothing significant about this one. It's actually a relatively low impact appeal.
So I will move for approval. Before I ask for a vote, are there any comments or questions? All right, seeing none. All those in favor of approval of the settlement stipulation as described, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. That's all we have on the agenda for new business. Is there any board new business? Let me look down here first. Commissioner Rappaport.
Yeah, real talkative night, sorry. Yeah, this could actually either be old or new. Some of us were at a meeting recently, and it came up sort of quietly. We were asked for our township's economic development plan. I'll let that sink in for a minute. I've asked that question and in the past, and we've answered it in many different ways. We've talked about in the past, there was a Main Street manager. We need alerta. We can raise it at another retreat. It's the purview of the economic development or the development corporation. We can't control private industry. We're trying to fix the parking requirements in various places. So there are lots of pieces of it, but we don't have a plan that I'm aware of. We don't have really a business recruitment plan. And I know we can't control it, but I'm going to just throw out that we shouldn't just leave it to chance and piecemeal. I do think at some point we really need to be more proactive and think about developing an economic development plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Rappaport. Any other new business for tonight's meeting? Commissioner Cherico.
Sure. And I agree with Commissioner Rappaport 1,000,000%. And I think that there are incentives that we should explore and other help that we should explore from local or from state sources, but also incentives that we can provide business owners. So I think that's something that's very much worth discussing. The new business I wanted to bring up was related to our public art regulations. There was vandalism of the industrial building near Ralph Morgan Park that happened. We have a long piece of property there that is blank, and I think that there are parts throughout the township that are ripe for public art. And we, as I understand, don't have a solid public art ordinance to allow for that or to oversee that. And I think that is something that the township should explore. I think that as we've seen in the city of Philadelphia, public art and murals specifically do quite a bit to enhance the communities, and I think there are opportunities for Cheltenham Township to follow suit. So that would be something that I think we should explore in the future to encourage additional public art here in the township.
Thank you, Commissioner Cherico. Just a point of reference, the township has a very long-standing and positive relationship with Arcadia's public art project. And we have been sort of the beneficiary of several projects, both actually 3 that I can think of at Glenside, one on Arcadia's campus and one in Cheltenham High School, but certainly continuing that relationship and expanding it is beneficial all around. So thank you for that comment.
Thank you.
Any other new business? All right, seeing none, I will close new business for this evening and we'll open up Citizens Forum. Anyone here in the hall or on Zoom who wants to make a comment for Citizens Forum, please raise your hand and be recognized. All right. Yep, I don't see anyone here in the hall. We'll go to Zoom. Ms. Stein, please.
Hi, just a quick comment about the public art. I know there's I'm Emily Stein, Wincoat. I know there's a long-standing relationship with Arcadia, and that's great. I don't want to detract from that, but I think you also have very talented students at the high school. You have multiple private schools, all the public schools, and the Cheltenham Arts Center. So I think it's important not to forget about that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. Any other public comment or Citizens Forum for tonight? All right. Seeing none, I will close Citizens Forum and I will move for adjournment of the March 19th, 2025 legislative meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.